Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at another one of these DLP projectors. So you can see obviously the portable and small size here. Now usually these type of projectors have a couple key features that your more typical traditional projectors do not have, but they also do have their minuses. So we're going to discuss those things coming up, and I'm going to tell you whether I think this one's worth it. So stay tuned. Alright guys, Timmy from Candid Tech TV. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I do projector reviews, offer tips and advice, and have other projector related content. So if that's something you're into, definitely hit that subscribe button down there below. So guys, this projector I've got in my hand here is the Crenova A9. So it's also known as the Vankyo GO300. They're literally the same model. Technically on the box, it says the model is the HDP300. Like other projectors that I've reviewed on this channel in the past, I mean, even with Vankyo before, they had the Vankyo Performance V600. That's also known as the M18, which a bunch of other projector companies also sell. So this appears to be the same model. These companies basically, probably go to the same manufacturer and then they rebrand it as their own. Sometimes there is a little difference with onboard Android interface. Some don't offer it. In this case, I think these are both pretty similar. I looked at the specs and the listings of both of them. Both of them have an Android interface. Both of them use like an eShare app, and they have Airplay accessibility to wirelessly share your phone. So they seem pretty similar. So this is a DLP projector. It has an LED light source that they rate for around 30,000 hours, so it's going to last you a long time. It's also FWVGA resolution, so it's 854 by 480p. And the brightness, I'm not quite sure. It kind of gets confusing there because if you look at the listings for the Crenova A9, which technically is what I have in my hand, I want to say this one says 170 lumens, and that's ANSI lumens, or vice versa. The other one says 150. So there's that 150 versus 170. In the end, that's pretty close. But the odd thing is on the box for this device, it actually says 300 ANSI lumens. So I'm not quite sure. You usually don't see them deflate their ANSI lumens. So either way, just know it's going to be one of these where it'll do okay in very light settings. But if you have this going midday or, outside, it's not really going to be visible. This is, again, still something for a well-controlled environment, like your bedroom at nighttime, a basement, living room with curtains drawn, that type of thing. So your refresh rate is 60 hertz. It does give you, they say, basically from a 7-inch screen all the way up to a 200-inch screen. So I will say it is going to be a little brighter and it's going to be more crisp when you have it a little bit smaller. Depending on your uses for this and where you're going to set this up, if you want to have it a little bit smaller, if you're going to be using it in a hotel room on a smaller wall or something like that, you can expect pretty good picture quality. Again, it's going to be 480p, but that can look good at a small size. Even blowing this up big, you'll see basically what I'm showing you in this video is still going to be a 100-inch diagonal picture. The HDP300 soundbar. This is a 2.1 channel soundbar system that the company actually reached out to me and sent out to me directly. So I'm going to talk to you about it today, and we'll show you how you can use it with your projector. So again, you could definitely bring it back further and get a bigger size. It's just going to be a little bit more dispersed, so it might not be quite as bright. And again, you might lose a little bit of the clarity. But again, I'm actually surprised with these 480p projectors. I put on like a Minions 3 YouTube trailer, and watching that on here, it actually comes through pretty good. If you're using this for like cartoons and things like that, I think you're actually going to be surprised at how 480p can look. Now this one does have a speaker on here, and it is one speaker. It's a 5-watt speaker, and it's actually pretty darn good. I was actually impressed with it. I think you could use this as a standalone speaker. If you want to upgrade it, however, I mean, you do have an audio out port on the back here. There's a little headphone icon, so you can hook it up by an aux cable to another set of speakers that way, or if you actually want to hook it up to headphones. But this also does have Bluetooth built into it, so it's really simple to upgrade the sound quality on this because you can literally just hook it up to another device by Bluetooth and hook it up to a speaker. And that was actually very easy. I did that. I tried it out, hooked it up to the sound bar that I just reviewed recently, and it paired simultaneously pretty much. I was able to go into the settings. You just go into Bluetooth, and it was as simple as that. So if you're looking for a speaker to use with this, or a sound bar, something like that, check out that review. I'll put that up here, popping up at the top in one of the corners there, but I just reviewed that. It's a P27 2.1 channel soundbar system, and it comes with a subwoofer, and it sounds pretty darn good. And like I said, I was able to pair it up to this by Bluetooth, and you get a pretty cool wireless setup. And you're going to get an Android interface built into here. So it has 7.1.2 Android operating system, and and basically you have your Play Store on there where you can download things. It's got Netflix on there, got YouTube on there, and I was able to fire this up. YouTube was already on there, and I was able to play stuff immediately. So that's pretty cool. You have that in here. So that offers you true portability. The other thing that I do like is you have a full-size HDMI spot on the back here. So you can also still hook that up to a Roku or something like that. I was just talking with somebody in the comment section the other day actually, and they were saying how they would love the option to just hook up a Fire Stick, Roku, something like that, and just use that rather than having to use an Android interface. So with this, it's neat because you have that Android interface you can use, and that way you can hook up one of your devices like that, or you can even hook up like an external drive. This does have about 16 gigabytes of flash memory on here, so that way you can, download some files, you can download apps and that type of thing. I think when I went in there, I'll show the screenshot maybe here if I have it, but it was about like 11 gigabytes and some change that was actually left usable, after having the stuff that was already on here at the time of first firing it up. So the really cool thing with these compared to some of the other more traditional projectors is you do get Wi-Fi. Like I said, you have the Bluetooth, so you just get more features. If you buy a $100, $200 projector even, a lot of the time you're not going to get an Android interface, you're not going to get Wi-Fi, you're not going to get Bluetooth. So this was very good for the ease of use and just being able to integrate it with, like I said, my Bluetooth speaker, with my Wi-Fi, running YouTube straight from this device. So that kind of stuff is what you get when you pay $300 for a device like this versus maybe $150 or $200 device. So that Wi-Fi was very easy to set up. Again, you pretty much just go right into the settings there. You select the name of your Wi-Fi network, you type in your password, and then you're good to go. This also does allow you to connect your phone by Airplay, Miracast, and DLNA. But the thing with those and the thing with like MHL cables, if you hook up through cable, a lot of the time you just got to watch. You may or may not be able to stream certain services. Typically, like YouTube is okay. You can stream like your own personal photos. Say if you wanted to show like a slideshow, you could use your own personal videos or downloaded videos, that type of thing. But a lot of the time, your streaming services that you pay subscriptions for, like Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, that type of stuff, a lot of the time does not work when you are screen sharing. It's one of those drawbacks, but that's copyrighted content, and they basically put some protections on there where you can't just stream that stuff. But that's where this comes into play because, like I said, you have that stuff on here because you have the built-in apps. So just go through this and use those apps. Or if you want to use the HDMI input on the back here, then you can hook up one of your devices, like I said, like a Roku or a Fire Stick. And again, you're just streaming from there and you'll have full functionality. So on the back here, you've got all of your inputs and outputs. You have an audio out. So like I mentioned, you can actually hook up like headphones to that. If you wanted to, you could use an aux cable and just run in physically to a speaker, but this does have the Bluetooth and it's Bluetooth 5.0. So that's great because a lot of time with that, you're not going to get any lag. That's certified for up to like 33 feet before interference. So I would highly recommend that. You also got the HDMI input on here, like we mentioned. You have one USB here and another USB on the side of the device. Those are USB 2.0 ports. You got your DC in to power this. And again, this is going to have its own internal battery. You got a 7,000 milliamp hour battery. It basically gives you about 2 hours of use, or maybe a little bit higher than that depending on your usage. 2 hours just on the battery. You can use this plugged in then. They're going to give you that cable, so that's an option as well. The power button's right on the back here. You are going to have the remote as well, but that is the power button to power on and off. Then going over to the left side, you got a microSD card slot, that other USB I mentioned, and then there is your focus wheel where you can dial in the focus. Speakers over on the right side here. And like I said, that actually sounds pretty darn good. Then on the front, you pretty much just got the fan here, and then you've got the lens holder. There is no lens protector here, so that's something, but the lens and everything on here is set pretty far back to where I don't think you really have to worry much about it. Maybe just if you were going to put this somewhere in a bag or something where, there might be some sand or something that would get into it. Be careful with it that way. All right, so one of the bigger drawbacks with this is that here on the bottom, you do not have a 1/4-inch thread to actually use a tripod with this. In the pictures, they basically show the type of tripods that I have out in my living room here, that basically it's just kind of the flat tray and you can set it on top of it. So that is one option. Other people have said you can maybe get one that is like a cell phone type mount and just kind of clamp it and use it there. Okay, so in fact, trying that out, that does seem to work. This is just a regular kind of cell phone clamp on the back of this here. So that seems to work. Again, that might be a little top heavy, just kind kind of finagle around with it. But again, this is probably a $20 flexible tripod that I have here. This is one you could wrap around like a chair or something like that if you wanted, and theoretically pretty much any object. If you're using this camping or something like that, this would be pretty easy to set something up on. So I'll put the link for that down here below. That'll be an affiliate link too, but this is what I honestly used for my DSLR before. I use this for my GoPro, so it's very versatile. So if you're going to use it for multiple devices, this might be something to check into. But that's just something that the Lenovo M1 portable projector did have, so that's something I figured I'd point out. They had the built-in 1/4-inch tripod thread on there, even though it didn't come with the tripod. You can work around it like that. This basically has two kind of little rubber feet there. You got that non-slip if you're putting this on a desktop or something like that. So one of the biggest things I think that this has going for it, and the DLP projectors in general, is a lot of these, they basically all have that auto keystone correction, which is amazing because if you're coming from a projector like some of the other ones I've reviewed on this channel, and it's more of the traditional kind and you have a manual keystone correction, basically it's kind of garbage. You need to have your screen and the projector set where it's pretty level and it's going to be going straight on. If not, if it's angled up at all, then what that's going to do is your picture, instead of being rectangular, is going to start to get distorted. And then if you have to use the manual keystone wheel on there, then you start losing focus. So it just does not work well. With these DLP projectors and the auto keystone correction, it's pretty awesome because I showed in that M1 projector review, I can point this at the ceiling and first it'll start off kind of tilted and then boom, it just kind of corrects and it finds, you know, the right way on the wall. So I'll show that here a little bit. You know, I've got this set up. The neat thing is then that gives you a little bit of leeway if you are angled up a little bit and your picture will still show flat on the wall. So that's pretty great because with a device like this, the whole reason why you're likely buying something like this, something that's this portable, is because you want to have that flexibility, and you're going to have that flexibility and it's going to give you a little bit of leeway and a little bit of forgiveness with setting up your picture. So guys, that's about 45 degrees vertical keystone correction too, just to be exact. And the weight of this really isn't too bad. It's 510 grams, which is essentially 1.12 pounds. So again, I've been holding this whole time. My arm's not getting tired. The build quality on this is probably, I'd say, a step above maybe the Lenovo M1, although that Lenovo M1 is a little bit smaller. And I actually had that right here behind me. So just to give you a peek, you can see that Lenovo M1 is definitely a bit smaller, but I will say that the Crenova A9 / Vankyo GO300, this one does feel a little bit more robust, and I do like the build quality of that one a little bit better probably. But that being said, it is definitely a little bit heavier, but I think both of them are great projectors. So let me know if you think you want to see a video and a comparison between those two. I do have the full review of that M1 projector by Lenovo out already. That's also DLP projector. Has a lot of the same characteristics. It has that auto keystone correction, very portable. This M1 does have some touch controls on the top of it, which I will say that is nice to have. This one here, you do not get any of that, so you're pretty much stuck using the remote. So I do like having some of the touch controls, but again, the build quality of this one is pretty solid and I'm pretty happy with it overall. So guys, I'm going to put an affiliate link down there below if you found this video helpful. If you're going to be picking this up, whether it's Crenova or Vankyo, like I said, they're the same model. So I'd say just check them both out. I'll put both links down there below, and I'll just go with the one that's got the better deal at the time and the better price for you, because they should give you the same exact performance. They just look a little bit different, I think, but overall, it's going to be a pretty solid projector. So purchasing through there does help me out, helps me keep bringing these videos and reviews to you. So if you found this helpful, honestly, I'd really appreciate that. Also hit that like button down there if you found it helpful. And like I said, I do projector reviews, tips, advice, and other projector related content on this channel. So I'd love for you to subscribe, join the Candid Tech crew if you like this kind of content. But thank you guys for watching with me here today. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.